team coach, Coach Rulani Mokwena, just to preview this fixture. Coach, maybe my opening question would be just the approach. Do you approach it with the second leg in mind, or is it just focus on the first leg and maybe winning?
Let me start by greeting ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to members of the media. Yeah, Fatu, it's going to be a very interesting game. Two very good sides in good moments, of course, in the early parts of the season. But we have to play it as a once-off, in my opinion, and try to make sure that we get the result that gives us good possibilities to approach the second leg with good confidence. But the mentality for us this season is to prepare as well as we can and try to win every single match.
Thank you, Coach. Let's take questions from the floor. Just by show of hands, I've noted Benjamin. I'm looking for new hands. Tsepo, I've also noted you. Okay, Benji first, and then Tsepo.
Coach Benjamin Yirenda Sokalatu.
Hi, Benji.
Good start to the season for Masandawana, Caballero. And you beat them in the league game, though it was at home, playing away. Last season, the team went away to another Soweto giant in the semi-finals. How different is the approach going to be going into this one?
Yeah, well, of course, it's a completely different competition, Benji. An important stage of a different competition, which is the semi-final. And because we want to do better than we did last season, it's important that we try to put ourselves in a different position with this competition in particular than we were last season.
Thank you, Coach. Supersport, are you struggling with something, or you're okay? Okay. Tsepo?
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Sure, Tsepo.
Tsepo from BNC. I don't know how you look at it in terms of first leg, second leg, especially the first leg away.
Yeah.
Even last season, of course, but the first leg semi-final was away.
Yeah.
Is it sort of like an advantage, disadvantage? How do you look at that aspect?
Thanks. Well, look, it's so much of our experiences in two-legged affairs tells us a lot of what happens in the second leg is of course determined by what happens in the first leg, regardless of whether it's home or away. Many years ago, when at Mamelodi Sundowns we won the Champions League, the advantage of playing at home first worked for us. But last season in the Champions League, we felt very comfortable, for an example, in playing away first and then coming home. And many examples come to that effect. But of course, if you look at maybe 2 seasons ago, our Champions League campaign, when we lost out to Petro in the quarterfinals, that advantage meant nothing because of the result first away from home. And you could say the same thing about the MTN 8 semi-finals last season. And maybe even the semi-finals of the Champions League against Wydad last season. So a lot of how we approach the second leg, a lot of what we do in the return fixture at home, of course, is determined by a lot of factors. And in hindsight, when you look at the result, for an example, the Wydad result away from home in the Champions League, for an example, with a 0-0 scoreline, you are quite happy because of some of the preceding events during the 90 minutes and being one man short for almost the entire second half. In fact, for the entire second half and a couple of more minutes of the first half, to take a 0-0, we felt we were very comfortable. But of course, then you give yourself a situation where you've got to deal with the possibilities of the opposition scoring an away goal that has to then influence a lot more than just the tactics, of course, with the mentality. And so, like I said, we have to take it one game at a time not think too much about the second leg, but try to push ourselves into a position where we are a little bit in control of our mindset. We are a little bit in control of our tactics and our approach for the second leg, and that has to do a lot with what we do in the first leg.
Okay, let's go to Mazola, Noted Kensani, and then Gawota. Mazola is on your right hand side. Okay.
Coach,
Sure, be up, sure.
SABC Sport. First question is, when you played Chiefs, they were in the second game of the new season.
Sure.
One would say a team in transition, so to speak, the coach figuring the patterns out. Two back-to-back victories for them now in the league. Does it pose different, problem solutions or in terms of analyzing opponents now that they seem to have even found, one would say, some key players like Bule finding a way to play without Ranga, who was meant to be the key man up front? How are you planning for them? Secondly, injury update. What's the latest with Sirino? Please don't send us to the office. He may be a bouncer. So.
Let me tackle the Sirino one first. A lot of the times when I have to speak about a lot of things that happen in the club, I give my personal opinion on some of the matters. Of course, I have a responsibility through the position that I have been given and the privilege to assist not just you guys as the media, and you guys have a very important role that you play in informing and educating the public. And so it's important that I don't mislead. But even with that responsibility, I've got also a heavy burden of one, protecting the football club, and number two, protecting football players. And then it becomes a bit difficult to try to balance the two, while still also giving my opinion. And my opinion is only but an opinion. It could be an important opinion because of the position, but it is still just an opinion of an employee of the football club. So at the end of the day, what happens with regards to all players, that then is actually the responsibility of the football club to give you more information in relation to that, because at the end it starts and it ends with the football club, and everything that is done by myself, like every other employee of Mamelodi Sundowns, is done with the best interests of the football club. So I've given you my opinion on the matter, and also informed you of what has happened. The matter is now with the football club and has gone into that space, and I think once there is further communications, I'm sure the football club will let you in on that. Injury update, I was at training now this morning. It looks a lot better. It gives such an important feeling to see some of the players, even though they are not at that point where they are available to return to play, and the process is, of course, start with the biokineticists and the physios and finish the rehabilitation process, then be granted green light to be available for training. What that means is that today I saw quite a few players that have been on the injury list on the green grass, which gave me a very good feeling. But many of them are not yet ready and available for selection. So we still have Rushin Doruk post-surgery, but good to see that he had boots on today and was on the green pitch. Tapelo Morena has now started straight line running together with Tapelo Maseko. Nasir Abubakar is off crutches, so he's now also beginning a little bit of the work to be inducted into training, but that will also be a little bit of a gradual process. Peter Shalulile is also on the green grass, but in techies still, so that's also a good sign, but marginal gains, progress, but not meaningful in the sense that he's still not available for selection. We got a little bit of a scare yesterday training with Sipho Mbule, who felt a bit of pain and swelling around the knee, so we have to see. Grant Kekana has to go under observation today because of discomfort during yesterday's match. But we are in a better position than we were before the previous game. In relation to Chiefs, I think they've made incredible progress. I have a few more games to watch, but fortunately I've had enough time to watch 3 matches now. I think a very good performance against Amazulu. Last night's performance was also quite good against Stellenbosch, a very difficult Stellenbosch team, away from home, and then revisited our match against them. There does look to be a repetition in some of the processes from an out of possession type of perspective. They look to be a little bit more stronger with the actions without the ball, and you can see a little bit with the stability that maybe the profile of their midfield gives them, with especially Castillo and Yusuf Mart. Brandon Peterson gives them a very good foundation to be able to build their defensive schemes and structural forms. But of course, yeah, Pula Modi gives a different dimension with Tanzania, very experienced, very good in between the lines, and a different type of profile to when they played against us with the Sitebe, for an example, as the midfield 3. And also the influence of the subs. They've got a very strong bench. They make very influential subs, and we know some of the things that we have to do already. We started speaking about it today, and we'll do a little bit more work tomorrow with our tactical approach and get ourselves ready for what's going to be a very difficult game for us on Saturday.
Thank you. Let's move on to Prawota.
Coach,
So, Prawota.
welcome, Aviva.
Yeah.
You missed out on the 2 cup competitions last season, and obviously, it's a new season now, and then you must be desperate to at least win this one and redeem yourself. What has been your message to your players going into this one, and how important will it be to get a positive result in the first leg and going into the second leg?
Yeah, I certainly have not used the word desperation. I don't feel the desperation, to be honest with you. I think that we are in a very good space to be able to dream of winning every trophy. We are in a space where we try to influence a lot of what we can do by focusing on the process of wanting to win. I said a couple of days ago, maybe last week, I said there's a difference between winning and the demand to win, and the process of winning, the one you can't control, and the one you can control. And that's where we are. We focus on our preparation, we focus on our mentality, we focus on our training attitude, we focus on our energy in and around the building at home, and the recovery protocols, We focus on our video analysis. We focus a lot on the things that we can control. That is the process of wanting to win. And so as long as we do that, we feel that we give ourselves a chance to be able to dream of winning, and dream of winning every single game, dream of winning every single trophy. And as long as we do that, we believe that we are in an okay space. Will we win every game? It's not possible. Will we win every trophy? It's not possible. Just like the desire to chase perfection, and even though perfection is something that is unattainable, you still try, because when you do that, you give yourselves a chance to reach a very good level of excellence. And that's the mentality, and that's our approach, and it really is very far from a feeling of desperation.
Thank you, Coach. Kensani, you up next. I think there might be an issue with the microphone. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, Fatu. Good day, Coach.
Sure,
From
please.
Sundowns fan blog. Coach, Sundowns has historically actually has a bitter history in cup competitions against Kaizer Chiefs. First time Sundowns beat Chiefs in a cup final in the PSL. You were there in 2015. Surely it's not something to ignore. What is your thinking going into this time, looking at the historic, I call it like a bitter taste, like historically against Chiefs. What is your mentality going into this game with regards to that? And is that something that you make note of, that you give to the players the message that, guys, this is not just any other game?
It's an interesting question, because history also didn't favor us against Swallows in the previous round. We, for the first time in a cup competition, we beat Morocco Swallows. I speak about fighting football heritage. And that already should speak to you about understanding how difficult some of the milestones that we achieve are, because some of the things we have so much that is stacked against us as a group, as a team. But also then I also speak about how special and incredible this group is, because this group keeps surpassing expectations and maybe even battling against football gods, if you want. And if you put it a little bit into perspective, you go back to the statement that I made, and again, as I try every time when I speak to the media, because I know somebody is waiting for a headline, somebody is waiting for a statement that they can misuse, like the statement I made to say Kaizer Chiefs is a very lucky team. And people took that statement and they ran with it. But my goodness, I wish someone would say I was a very lucky person. Because when someone says you are lucky, they're actually saying there's a divinity, there's a God's hand sometimes falls in your favor. Imagine someone says to you that you are chosen by God sometimes, and in most cases, you are the one that God actually chooses when he has to choose between you and others. And people try to misconstrue, misuse, and I 100% tell you that as a kid that grew up in Orlando West, I know, having experienced so many games of Pirates versus Chiefs firsthand, I know when I would watch so many games and my goodness, I would understand the feeling in the township when Chiefs won. I would hear what the people would say. I would see the storyline amongst a lot of the situations when Pirates play Chiefs or when Swallows play Chiefs, and how many games you just saw God's divine hand falling upon Kaizer Chiefs. And it's very true. No, it is very true. God must be a Kaizer Chiefs supporter. and there is no seriously, and there is no greater compliment that could be given. No, but you guys laugh, and I'm really, really serious. There is no, honestly, I wish someone would say to me, my goodness, God loves you. And not only say it, but really have the evidence to point out to say it in some very, it's true. And so we're playing against a very good team, well-coached team. No, and I say this with a lot. I know you guys where you're going, but it's okay. I say it with a lot of. Maybe let me share a story. When I met Ntate Kaizer Motaung for the first time, he called me and he said, "I've been meaning to speak to you for many years." And I said, "I'm all ears, sir." And he said to me, "If it wasn't for your grandfather and his passing away, there would have been no Kaizer Chiefs." I looked at him and I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "The amount of respect I have for your grandfather and what he did for my career, I would never have started this incredible football club if he was still alive." So imagine if at any point my grandfather sitting in heaven felt I was disrespecting Kaizer Chiefs with that statement that I've just made. So I speak about it, knowing exactly what I'm saying, because there is a very strong link, a huge amount of respect that I have for the football club and for Dr. Kaizer Motaung. And that's where I speak when I say they really are a club that has, like Real Madrid for an example, they really have some form of direct line with the heavens, and that's what we have to know. That's the profile of the team we're playing against on Saturday.
Okay, in the interest of time, I'll only take last two questions. I'm going to move to my left-hand side. We don't have time. Can I just be one question, and then Katlego will also have
just one question.
Just one, please, because of time.
Sure,
Yeah, because sometimes you are carried by the momentum, and the momentum. The coach is talking about Kaizer Chiefs, and I think
we have to refer to Kaizer Chiefs because they are next.
Yes, because also Coach, you came very close to working with Coach Steve at Chiefs at the time, but because now I'm being asked to only ask one question.
Yeah, one question.
Yeah, let me save you from that one. Looking at how Sundowns has started this season, I know previously you had some challenges in terms of how you would start, but I see a different scenario this time around, how you started. What would you attribute this to? And also looking at the days of the African Football League coming out, and it's a block of features. Mm-hmm. Does this now even give you a better plan in terms of planning, especially before the AFCON break?
Yeah, good question. It's difficult to maneuver around it, Davi, to be honest, but we have to. The statement now this season from me is needs must. And so we have to prepare ourselves for what's going to be a very difficult program just before the AFCON break. So we've prepared for ourselves for that. We tried to have the squad for that also, which is something that's very, very important. What would I attribute the start of the season to? I would attribute it, number one, to very good preparation, and preparation in the sense that a lot of work was done in the off season, not just from a technical perspective, but also from the club, from our chairman, and the support we got from the Mutsipe family with regards to the targets that we had from a recruitment perspective. The sporting director and his office for the amount of work that they did in that space. The support and hard work in procuring and getting the players faster than we normally would, and that a lot of credit needs to go to Brasta and Yugesh and senior management for a lot of work there. So there's a lot of areas within the football club that don't necessarily always get the credit and recognition for their contributions, and maybe apart from, which is the second part, is just having very, very good players and having a good squad with good human beings around us. The number one for me, I think, is for sure definitely the collective and the hard work of everybody at the football club, and their contributions towards helping us to have the start that we have.
Quick one.
Coach, how are you?
Yes, sir. Sure,
Citizen. I also had another question, but I'll just be brief, Coach. Talk to us about Motaung Vala. Once again, has shown a true character to come back from that unfortunate own goal. I mean, a lot, gets said when it comes to him. And I think sometimes maybe it's misunderstood. But talk to us about his character and what have you seen from him this season?
Suarez, the gentle giant. I know how to. I've spoken about Ntobi so much in a lot of press conferences, but I think Hugo Bros probably summed him up the best when he said he's Mr. Reliable. He gives you his best, and I think you can say the same about a lot of these Sundowns players. Such good human beings, so honest, so professional, and I'm grateful that I'm their coach, but I'm also grateful that I'm able to learn from them, and they help me to become a better person, not just a better coach, but a better person, because I watch them, I talk to them, I live with them, and I'm just very grateful that I've been given this enormous privilege of being the Mamelodi Sundowns head coach, because that has helped me become a better human being, and it's only because I get to spend so much time with people like Mtobi, like Rulani Mokwena, Marcelo Allende. Marcelo Allende the other day was handing out serviettes. I don't understand. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. He was handing out serviettes to every player, and including some of the staff members. During a pre-match meal, serviettes. He stood up and he, one by one, was handing out serviettes. And this is the type of people I work with every day. Peter Shalulile, Debo, Grant Kekana, Grant celebrates every goal. Every goal we score. Check your pictures, and they've got some incredible photographers who capture these moments. Check every Sundowns goal, when even if he's on the bench, Grant is in the corner flag. Amazing people, and these are the things I watch, I see, and I learn from. And as I say, I'm just grateful and truly humbled that I can be in the position not just to be their coach and to lead them, but also to learn from them.
Thank you very much, Coach. We'll end it here with the best for Saturday.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.